live now with Gail.
Okay.
It's everybody's there. That's good. So good evening, everybody. My name is Dr. Bennett, and we're here with Gail tonight. Gail did our Metabolic Body Reset program about a month ago. She ended the 6-week losing phase of it. During that time, she lost 17.6 pounds during the 6 weeks, and actually had lost more than that ultimately. But we're going to talk to Gail tonight about her experience because she had a little bit of a unique experience in that she did the Metabolic Body Reset program started it right before going on a cruise and did it while on a cruise. So, Gail, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your weight journey?
Well, I've always been very weight conscious. I had 4 children and put on 65 pounds each pregnancy. And the day I got home from the hospital, I went to Weight Watchers and joined and lost it all and became a life member. So it was a lifestyle for me to do Weight Watchers. But as the decades piled on, I put 10 pounds on a decade, not at one time. It was just this gradual weight gain. And everything I tried, including Weight Watchers, and it just wasn't working. I'd lose 5, put the 5 back on, lose 5, put the 5 back. So I was committed. After Christmas, I had decided to cut all sugar out of my diet because I can be a sugar, addicted to sugar. So then I came back down south and went out to breakfast and Reenie's a friend of ours, and she looked fabulous. And she told me all about this program. And I thought, that's exactly what I need. I needed something to reset this metabolism because obviously it was sluggish. As active as I am, I walk easily 10 to 12,000 steps a day. And I always was in some kind of exercise, and I walk 18 holes of golf when I'm in New York. So there was something that stuck. That's when I called you. But I also told you I was going on a cruise.
I remember that conversation because I kept saying, "Are you sure? Are you sure?"
And I thought it was perfect because I can do anything for 6 weeks. I can be committed for 6 weeks for anything. And I thought, well, this is even better because they're cooking all my food for me and I can tell them exactly what I want. And they did it beautifully. When we were in the dining room, I said, this is what I need. I need this, this, and this. Prepared it that way, brought me a little bottle of balsamic, and I was good to go. And when I didn't eat in the dining room and I went up to the Lido, they had roasted veal, and I said, a little slice of that. The fresh vegetables, always had a salad, chicken in it. It really wasn't that difficult.
Awesome.
Got up in the morning, went up to the gym, weighed in up there. And for 10 days, my sister was kind of amazed that I stuck with it.
That your cruise was 10 days?
Yeah, it was 10 days.
So the average on a 10-day cruise then would be gaining 10 pounds because it's usually 1 pound a day is what they
Is that the average? Well, we did a lot of stair climbing.
That's good.
9 decks, up and down those a few times too. But it's funny. We've been on many cruises, and the longest one was 3 weeks in the Mediterranean. And because of the level of activity every day, I can say I didn't put on 10 pounds.
That's good. That's very good.
But I can see how it was easily done, especially on the chocolate celebration night, So,
exactly. Yeah. And that's you made a good point there. They would modify to whatever you wanted. All you do is ask, correct?
They were fabulous. I saw what they had on the menu. They always had broiled chicken or a pork chop or filet mignon. And they broiled it for me, and they brought fresh vegetables. They always gave me double vegetables. And awesome. I had a salad. And I didn't have any bread or dessert. I had fruit. They always brought me my fresh fruit at night. And that was on the menu. That was not anything special. They had fruit on the menu. So I was happy because I didn't have to do any cooking. I
So,
didn't know how to ring bells though when I was on the cruise ship. I didn't have internet a lot.
um, when you started this, how much weight did you want to release?
Well, I was hoping just for 10 pounds, just to, to get out of the 60 decade. And I was so pleased that I lost, well, it was a total of 23 from when I started documenting. And I've been on maintenance, what is it now? A month?
You're
No?
about a month. Yeah, about four.
And I haven't stayed right at the same weight that I stopped at. And I've had a little cheesecake, I've had a little bread, but nothing in excess, but I stay on it for a few, every week. I stay on it for the fasting still. And then I'll eat my lunch and my dinner. A little bit more protein, more vegetables, and a salad. I make a big salad for lunch still with chicken, just like I did before. And I'm good with that because I'll cook a whole bunch at the same time and then I have it in the refrigerator.
Good.
My husband likes it because he gets to eat too.
The benefit, right? The benefit.
He's eating well.
So, what other things did you change? Did you notice changing from the beginning to the end of this program? Not just weight loss, but like how you felt.
Well, the reason why I actually committed to do this is that I had awful pressure in my chest. I couldn't lay down without shooting pains, and I did have a nuclear stress test, and I do have a mitral valve that is sticky, but it's not ready to be repaired yet. And I had high cholesterol and high blood pressure and the whole 9 yards when it came to the heart. And basically I'm an apple shape. So, in my whole family, including my father, mother, and 12 aunts and uncles and on one side and 6 on the other, all died of heart. So I knew that I had to make a commitment to this, and I needed something that I could do it safely and that was relatively easy. And I think that of all of the plans, this is one of the easiest plans I've ever done. It basically does it for you.
Very sustainable. So that
Yes.
you go back.
And I wasn't hungry. That was the big thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of water.
A lot of water. So let me bring.
Water was crucial, and lost inches around my neck, my waist, my legs were always thin anyway. I looked like a popsicle, but my legs were always thin. But everything now is in proportion where it belongs.
Well, yeah, you lost two.
Great. A lot of I've always had energy, but I have sustaining energy for longer periods of time.
I liked the quote you sent me. It was something about you were going to a reunion or a family event back home.
Yeah.
Something about everybody said you were tiny.
Yeah. Like, I'd never been called tiny in my life. Only when I was 16 and at 110 pounds. Tiny. That was a word used.
That's awesome.
That felt great. My sister says, no more, you're getting too skinny. So Italian.
What did you like? Well, let me just give some statistics. 2.5 inches you lost from your abdomen, 2 inches from your hips, 2 inches from each thigh. So that's phenomenal with a total of 23 pounds. Phenomenal. But what did you like most about the program?
You mean besides buying new clothes?
Besides buying.
I like the support. I like the Facebook page that everyone kind of cheered everybody on, and everybody was doing the same thing, and everybody had great ideas and shared them. I like the fact that I'm eating whole food. I'm eating everything natural. I can fix it and spice it up and, make it flavorful. That's great. And I didn't have to give up coffee. Was a big thing. And I can enjoy a cup of coffee and a bottle of water until noon very easily. And, I was raised where breakfast was your most important meal. And growing up, my mother made sure we had breakfast every morning, and, we had three plus meals a day. Now remember, she's Sicilian, so you can imagine. But I think having the program set for you and you just follow it and know what you can't eat, but there's so much more that you can. And I just found it easy. I still find it easy. And those that I tell about it, they say, well, well, let me try it. And I said, okay, just do this. And they'll call me up and say, what about this? And I said, you joined, you really could benefit from the support.
Right.
Some of them can't afford it, but it's all right.
So I'll bring everybody up to speed. So what we have is a secret Facebook group of only people who have done the program or are doing the Metabolic Body Reset program. And that just adds to the support level that we can give in addition to our, chat system through our EHR system and whatnot. And every 5 pounds you lose, you get to go ring a bell, and all of a sudden you have 10 or 15 friends that you never met before, all happy, very happy.
I know, it's great. And, I'm like, how do they get these bells? And where do they get these people? I found one bell on the emojis, and that was it. You rang one for me when I was on the ship.
That's right. That's right.
Bell, wasn't it?
Something like I think it was the 10-pound bell because you were having spotty internet connection.
Yeah, I could have paid for it, but it was exorbitantly expensive. Yeah. So when I got to shore, the bus had actually internet on it. One of the tour buses did.
Nice.
I used that. And,
very nice.
I found traveling on the cruise was really easy. I did have one chocolate-covered strawberry. I have to confess.
At least you had the strawberry.
Well, it was brought to the room because it was a gift. And I said, I'm having that. But that was it. I said, I'm going to have the one. But it's amazing. You feel like someone's looking over your shoulder when you think you want to cheat. And then you all of a sudden say, I can't do that. Someone's going to know.
Dr. Bennett's going to see those numbers in the morning.
That's true. That's true.
And ask what happened.
That's another great thing is that you're committed to share your numbers. And it really makes you mindful of what you're eating through the day, because in the morning you better see a drop. Or, and you had some good suggestions. I thought when, we were stuck, I think the body levels out at a certain losing rate. And I think you get stuck and you get discouraged, but the 12 macadamia nuts and the quarter cup of cashews, it's a little trick. You trick the body into eating the fat again.
Oops. Let me do this. We're going to get some feedback. Okay. There's a couple people watching. I wanted to see if they had any questions. If anybody has any questions, feel free to write them in the comments, and then I'll see them on my phone here as well, because I'm looking at 2 or 3 screens at the same time. We got this whole thing down to a science yet. So as you'll attest to the technical difficulties right off the bat. So if you were to recommend this to your best friend, what would you say?
Can't lose. You can lose. I guess more accurately, you can lose. I spoke with a few people saying, I've tried everything, keto, Weight Watchers, what's those other ones out there? You buy the food and all those.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you have to go into it believing that it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle.
Absolutely.
And it's something you continue with long after the program's done to maintain. Now, I think let's say I want to lose 5 more pounds, I know I could just switch. The loading process was a little difficult. I had a friend and I loaded up together, and well, she just ate along with me. She's already skinny. So
okay.
I'm like veal parmesan, cannolis, bread. It's hard to eat 5,000 calories.
Very much so. And when I have people doing a second round, it's even harder than that first round to get to that 5,000 calories.
And that is necessary to start the second round. You've got to load up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You want to.
I almost feel like that's sacrilegious.
And that's the way you feel on a second, third, yeah.
I have to say it's probably the best I have felt in the last 15, 20 years.
Awesome.
I think my brain is clearer. I don't forget as many things. Whether or not that has anything, I find that my recall is better. Just the energy level. You know that I was diagnosed with MS in '95, so before that, I had an obscene amount of energy. I mean, my husband just can't even, his head he just shakes it and said, I got to go to bed. You know, I just keep going. And when I was diagnosed, he said, I seem like I'm a little more normal as far as my energy level. But I never felt that. I guess I got lazy more than anything, but it's a non-issue, so I didn't bring that up for anything. I don't take medication. I learned that sugar is really my enemy when it comes to MS because it shuts down the immune system. And so if you're eating sugar with an autoimmune system disease, it doesn't work. So I didn't say I cut it completely out, but I minimized it. I could eat it all the time. I mean, I love chocolate, but I use it for special occasions. It's a special. To me, it's a reward or a treat. Occasionally, it's not daily. So, the medication that I was on made me very sick, and I decided in '03 when I saw my neurologist. I'm in retail. I was going to go off it from March until January, and I felt 1,000% better being off the medication. And he couldn't answer my question about what it was doing to any of the other organs in my body being so sick. And he says, the truth, I don't know. And I said, Dr. Corbett, I love talking golf with you, but I won't be seeing you anymore. And since '03, I've been on no medication whatsoever. So it's really a non-issue with me. And I believe, God's hand's been on my life for that purpose too. So I still have a lot of energy.
Awesome. That's awesome. Before you started this, did you have a hesitation?
No.
Doing this?
No.
Okay.
It's funny because I had been, I stopped the sugar because I was on sugar overload between our birthdays are in December and then Christmas and then, and the food coming in and the cookies coming in and the candy coming in. It was almost disgusting to me. It's got to that point where it was making me sick. So I said, no more sugar, done. And I stopped that and started feeling so much better. And then when I got here the first week of January and down at the beach and met Renee and looked at her and said, you look great. And then she explained the program at breakfast. We were out to breakfast with our friends and she said she had been on maintenance since November and this was January. And she said what she did was she stays on it 4 days a week and then she kind of goes off it for 3 days where she not as rigid.
Yeah. Everybody works out their own little plan for maintenance and for being in it. Everybody has a little bit different.
The thing that I noticed the most too, you've got to have a scale because I wasn't eating enough protein. I thought I could eye it and I use the deck of cards thing, but actually it's a little bit less. I mean, that makes it a little less. I didn't realize how much chicken I wasn't eating and steak. I mean, a hamburger is a small patty and a half is 4 ounces. I never knew that. So I think having that scale is very important to measure the food out.
And it's very important to get the protein, the vegetables, and the fruits all in there at a meal, as well as all the other vegetables that you can eat to fill up on if you want.
That's right. And I, instead of using olive oil to cook in, again, being Sicilian, I used Worcestershire and a little water and Worcestershire, and it gave it flavor. And, my niece decided, gee, that's a good idea. I'm going to try Worcestershire instead of olive oil. So, there are little things like that you just don't go back to. And because it tastes good.
Right.
And, olive oil changes when you heat it up versus eating it raw.
Mhm.
So those were little things that I found that I never thought of doing before.
Nice, very nice. So, a brief explanation what we were talking about. There's a 6 week, there's a 2 day loading phase where you have at the very beginning where your goal is to eat 5,000 calories a day. Then you go into the losing phase for the remaining 40 days. And then about 4 weeks we spend on getting you into maintenance, basically locking in your weight with an increased meal plan, adding breakfast back in, things like that. Everybody's a little individualized because they like different things and they like to do it different ways. So, but we try to do that 10 weeks so we are there for support. And the Facebook group, I mean, you'll be in it as long as you want. Yeah, I never take anybody out because you never know. You go in there and find a recipe. Because
Yeah, I like the recipes.
plenty of recipes in there.
Really,
Yeah.
and I love avocado. And sometimes I'll have a half avocado with my Melba toast
Yep.
as a snack, and it fills me up and it tastes good. I went out to breakfast the other morning and I had one gluten-free pancake and turkey sausage, and it was and no syrup and nothing. And not that I didn't think I could, I just didn't need it.
Right.
And besides, I like real maple syrup, not the stuff that won't. So I'd rather not waste calories on that. So I think, you know, going out is such a social thing now that I think if you have a mindset that you go out, you're there to be with the people, not necessarily eating. And that's just the excuse to be with the people. And I think that people get in there and they see the menu and they got to try everything on it. I don't drink, so that made it easy. If I never have another drink, I would never miss it. But I might have a glass of beer after a round of golf when it's 90 degrees. But it wasn't a habitual thing with me anyway. So
Mhm.
water was always my go-to drink, or coffee.
Awesome.
And I'm finding if I forget to drink during the day, I'm like, I feel a difference. I definitely feel.
Absolutely.
And today I thought, because I was working out in the house and in the shed, and I thought, where's my water? Where's my water? And I was thirsty. And that was the first time I actually was thirsty. So I think the water is essential.
Absolutely. It is absolutely essential. Um, I'm going to say real quick before I forget this. Hi, Ryan. Hi, Sydney. My kids are watching. That's what I can say.
Oh,
I'm here, so, I don't want to miss. Yep. That is, but the loading phase, the losing phase, the maintenance phase, during that entire, could you sum up that experience, the whole 10-week experience in a couple
it
sentences?
went by very fast. It went by very fast, and it's something I think I could do repeatedly if I wanted to, become a real thin model again. That's not going to happen at 67, but I feel like I have the control to do that. And also, I just found it I like things when they're set, and everything was set. All I had to do was fill in the blanks with the food. 4 ounces, 4 ounces, 4 ounces, lots and lots of water, and fasting for that till noon or whatever you set your fasting thing is. I enjoyed it, and it was not hard. It was actually almost too good to be true at times. But when you see the weight come off and people noticing, and especially people who were on the journey with me, I don't think they notice it. It's the people that hadn't seen you. And I went home early March. My family hadn't seen me, and I didn't tell them. So they all looked at me like, there's something different here. I posted a picture on the page that you shared on, and
Right.
that was in September, taken at Leatherstocking Golf Course in Cooperstown, and I had an event there, and I saw that picture that was just posted like mid-December, and I thought, oh my goodness, that really is what started me saying, no more sugar. I got to get this weight off because another decade is coming, and I don't want that 7 in front of it.
Right.
So,
Right. Well, that's good. I mean, you took control and made it happen. I mean, we were just here for support, and guidance along the way, and that's the job.
I think you had some good ideas to help when you're stuck and, other issues. And you needed that.
Yep,
You needed that.
absolutely. Plus, then you also have an accountability partner between us and the Facebook group. There's accountability partners. Uh,
Right.
so, is there? I'm gonna I'll sum up in a minute or two. But is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off?
If anyone is considering doing this, I would encourage you to, because you will feel so good in 6 weeks. I mean, you can be committed for 6 weeks, as I said, to do anything. And I was taught that to establish a habit, it takes 6 weeks to establish a habit and a lifetime to break it. So for me, this is my lifestyle, as Weight Watchers was.
Hmm.
That was a lifestyle for many years. And, without the support that I had there, when they changed it to the points and all that, well, I found out a cannoli is 8 points. Well, you get 25 points and you're thinking, oh, I can have a cannoli. So, you could eat anything you wanted, but sometimes they weren't good choices. And this doesn't allow you to do that. And I think I like that. No sugar, no carbs. So I think having that starting out really helps you to stay on focus.
What I really liked about and made it sustainable for me is that protein, vegetables, fruit. It's pretty wide open on what you pick. Your taste buds, your taste choices.
And, I play a lot of golf down here, and I will measure out my food, chicken, chop it up, take a fork with me, take my, my veggies, if it's my leftover Brussels sprouts or something, bring it with me, take a couple of Melba toast, and have a half an apple. And it takes me about, I want to say 4 holes to finish my lunch. I'm eating at the appropriate time, and I'm getting the 3 things that I need, and I'm drinking water, and then I come home and cook dinner. So I don't need a sandwich. That's the thing. That was the thing that I couldn't because I loved sandwiches. I love bread, but I didn't miss it. I've got filled up. I ate what I was supposed to eat and gave myself a little pat on the shoulder. Hey, I did it. I'm playing golf. So I'm doing the things I love to do.
Absolutely, absolutely, and the results show it. I mean, you did a fantastic job. That 10-day cruise right there in the middle. That's phenomenal.
I had to laugh because you said, I don't know if you should start this now. And I'm thinking, I don't want to put another pound on, and this is the perfect time to start. It wasn't about the food on the cruise anyways. It was about being with my sister, my friend, and going to the Panama Canal and enjoying fresh fruit. Of course, no pineapple or bananas where we were, but it didn't matter. It really didn't matter. I didn't feel deprived at all, actually.
I will.
Couldn't get over that I stuck with it.
I will always remember that phone call when we discussed that, because I kept saying, "Are you sure? Are you sure? You want to wait until you get back?"
No, because then I would have probably had more weight to lose.
Well, I think I actually suggested load on the last 2 days of the cruise as one of the options. But yeah, no, but fantastic job. You did a great job. Thank you very much for coming on tonight and telling people about your journey and your story. And I'm going to post a link to our website that has has interviews with other people who've gone through the program, and also has a video now of me explaining the program and the different options that are available. It's metabolicbodyreset.com, but I'll post it in the comments. If anybody watching has any comments or has any questions, you can write them in the comments. I will look at them tomorrow. The video will remain posted. So Gail, any parting words?
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for sticking with me as I stuck with you. So it was great support, and the community was great. And having people now near me that have done it, like Rini, it's just fun. fun. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Well, everybody have a good night. I will post the link if you're interested. Please, you can always schedule a call with me. We'll spend about 20 minutes talking whether the program is right for you and if it's a good fit and timing, like I talked to Gail about when she started. So everybody have a good night. It was a pleasure. Gail, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.